one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Mr. Diana.
Here.
Mr. Steinberg.
Here.
Mr. Brescia.
Here.
Mr. Gatos.
Here.
Mr. Scrabbies.
Here.
Mr. DeSalvo.
Present.
Thank you. Lori Biasuso, Vince Cozzolino, Kevin Dowd, Russ Genzel, and moi are here. Next up on the agenda is we're going to go into executive session, for attorney-client discussions.
Yes.
So, and I think we're leaving.
We're leaving, actually, you guys can all stay put.
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Okay, thank you. So we'll take a trip.
We're leaving?
Yes, you are.
I don't want to leave, I'm staying here. Just got here.
Sorry, Don. That's fine.
Yeah, I don't have any yesterday.
You guys were amazed with that. Well, just so I know where it is, and it's already there.
What's wrong?
It's already there?
What?
Is that the package?
No. Where's Vinny sitting?
Right there. There.
All right, I'll get it later.
I just gave him a packet to pass down to John.
Oh, we have one for Bob.
John needs one, and I gave it to Vinny to pass it down, but I don't know what he did with it.
Okay, I think it went to Bob. Do you have an extra one?
It went to Bob.
Well, Bob needed one too.
Is it on the way out?
He has some time. There's some time before they come out.
And if you don't have it, when I come back, I'll give it to you again.
I think a lot of time.
Yeah.
Hi.
Happy New Year.
You too.
How's everything?
How was your boy's first Christmas?
He's good.
Was it?
He's still little, so.
Yeah, he doesn't know clue,
He
right?
doesn't care.
My daughter, 2.5, she's just getting it now. Last year she was terrified by seeing it. Now she's still leery. She's like, what's his deal?
We did some pictures with him. He was okay with it. I wasn't sure how it would go, especially since he was asleep. I had to wake him up. He was like, all right. And he's like, who are you? You look good. Okay.
That's cool. But this year she found it, like, she opened a lot of presents and really got it and enjoyed it. It was fun, for sure. Then I have a 12-year-old who's first year non-believer, so I should have done the you don't believe, you don't receive. Yeah, yeah. Last year she was, some of my friends say this, that, and the other, one of those deals, but
Really?
yeah. I was happy it lasted that long, but
That is
a lot of
while.
people are telling me, like, you gotta believe to receive kind of thing, so. But she's a child of a divorce. I can't play that game. I gotta take care of her too, so. 'Cause-
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Because I babysat these kids, and his twins, and the little boy, the first year his parents decided to pretend that he was so upset. He was like, they could at least pretend it was real, and he was furious. I'm like, I'm so sorry, honey. Like,
That's funny.
sorry.
But I bet everyone else enjoyed your son as part of it. It's just something cute about babies. And
Yeah,
time of year,
he's
so.
cute. He's a fun baby. So.
How long was he now?
5 months and a week. I'm not the good
Whatever.
one that's like 28 weeks. Nah, I don't
That
know.
makes any
I have no idea.
That doesn't mean anything.
Yeah,
So.
I know he's good. He's getting like very active, and So doing
Good.
all his rolling and.
Tummy time?
Oh God, he's a pro.
Oh, is he good?
Yeah,
Some-
he's-
Some kids hate it.
No, he's very strong. And so he's not crawling, but I don't know, I think he's gonna crawl before he sits up. He's just like, he's
funny
doing
how
this
that
thing
is.
where he's just like pulling himself across the floor.
Does he drag himself, does he?
He's it's like he
Wow.
can like get places and
That's
he'll,
big.
he'll like try to like, if he can, he'll be like, and then like roll over to it, and I'm like,
Like he can roll to get someone?
oh yeah, he can.
Oh my God, that's great.
Yeah, and the best part is though, when he's on his back, he like turtles. He's like trying to
He
sit
can't-
up,
he can't
and he
do
like
it.
can't do it. Just like, I'm
Like a
like,
ladybug or
yeah, I'm like, okay.
what's his name?
It's Benjamin.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
you did.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cute. That's fine.
Yeah,
Awesome.
it's good. Hey, Bob, did the agreement get to the office?
Did, yeah.
Oh,
Then
okay.
he asked me. I did tell him. I should have told you, but he texted me like to ask. I hadn't gotten it, but I checked with the county executive. They couldn't find it because it was illegal. So legal's looking at it. right
Oh,
now.
oh, okay.
It wasn't sent there. It was sent right down there because that's, I guess, a new policy the last several months
Oh,
or something
okay.
is legal reviews, all that stuff. So,
Oh, okay.
so that's where it is.
No,
and-
that's
and
fine.
eventually, someone from legal, told me that, and I think I forwarded him. Maybe Lori gets that. I'm sorry that I didn't even think of that. I think I copied her as well. So,
No,
she's
because I
on
had
that.
sent it out, and then she asked me, and I was like, well,
I think he said you
I
sent it on
sent
the
it.
30th, so.
Yeah,
Right?
I'm like, I sent it.
Yeah, now it's there.
It should be. I
It's
know
illegal,
it's
so I don't know
snail
what that
mail,
means
but it's
time-wise.
No, that's. I mean, it starts when they sign it, and we get it and we sign it. So, yeah, the minute I get it back, I get it signed in. I return it. I send it right back out, and when it starts.
Yeah,
So
okay.
when we get it.
All right, so it's that quick once it's.
Yeah,
back in
when
time?
they sign it, when they sign it, and they send them both copies here, I have her countersign, I send them a copy, and it's off. Yeah.
Okay.
So, if they have any questions about the agreement, Kevin drafted it, so legal can contact Kevin. And that's just the way that is. Yeah.
Super, perfect, okay. All right, I'll give you posted. What's that? Trying to lose it? What do you mean? Huh. I know, of course. I have no purchasing power, so. I know. Oh, I see. Exactly. He's like, he thinks of himself. You're right. You feel more any better? Was? Okay. You're in now? Okay, good. Yeah, I haven't seen you in a while, so. Cool. Oh, yeah. Oh, really? Of course she does. She's always got something most like threatening. Poor thing. Yeah. And you saw that incident. Just trying to shirk our responsibilities in my daughter. Well, that was the beginning of the end, right? Yeah, that's true. That's true. Unbelievable. It was a big issue.
I don't get fevers for anything. That's why I said that last day. I don't get fevers, like I don't think because your body's not warning it. Because the only time I ever got a fever.
Ever?
Ever.
Well, it's big.
As David. Like, Yeah.
Right.
Change.
Yeah, right. You gotta check in every month, things change around, move stuff around, if you get stuff. Perfect day for a little walk. Did you really? Oh, congratulations. What'd you have?
A little girl, Isabella.
Isabella? Me. Right.
But Friday was my first day back, and he's like, oh, good, I'm away. You can make that. I was like, we're really jumping right back in.
Can I ask how long you've been on for?
I use all of my short-term disability and New York State leave, so I have 4.
That's good. It's not easy, though, when it's
Using
not
it
a-
to daycare for it. That was great. She's a happy girl. Hopefully she's not gonna care.
Right.
Christine, so to speak. My elder was coming for the end of my pregnancy, so it's scary.
I'm not sure if they're definitely well.
That's what I assumed when I saw. They started.
No, it's a membership, it's a trade association, essentially. It's a- Something like that, but first of all, very I think what's that? So that's, demonstrates his expertise. And just, I love him because he's an integrity guy, just, you're dealing with, and then he's kind of second. It's also terrific. It's awesome. They're both the kind of, you're dealing with just great humans, I just, that's how you never know. Sometimes you get characters in this business, that you see, and stuff. So, no, they're great, and, yeah, when I come up with a new workforce thing, I just always tell them to talk to them, because I hate, if somebody else applying to do the same thing, for say, $100,000. But, fill the holes in the missing, and just strengthen it, something, so, I'd say, that way, just to talk to them first, kind of thing, see what they're doing, if they just want to plug in, or an opportunity, something difficult, so. Security. How'd that come up?
I don't know, I was just, sort of, and then, I found it. That's what she said. Nothing really is like that. I'm thinking of the practice.
Very big staff, so, but, just 3 of them over there, I think, but some are neat, that's for sure. For sure. So, by the way, can you do that over to Gralix's? We'll put it for tomorrow afternoon. You have time to do that? Yeah. Put your sinuses of that?
It will be.
Really? It's very strong.
It's certain structures.
Have you seen the processing email, the labs? I think it's pretty good.
Yeah, November?
Okay. They weren't done, they were
They,
almost done.
they were almost done. Yeah, they were, had like, they were launch of their thing.
Cool.
The labs were, yes, very, very Yes, I know, several, very, but, I don't know if they had all of the equipment yet, they were waiting on a few things, but, I'm just freezing it. Going to look at their greenhouses.
I've seen all that, hopefully we'll stay inside.
Greetings, folks.
How you doing? Morning.
You told us late.
Executive
Not much on
session.
the-
Oh, okay.
They convened and then they left.
That's what Alex says. He smells, but he lives with someone who works there, so they just smell together. Yeah. When Sarah says his part of the apartment, he speaks like it came out of like a catalog. Like he's decorated so well.
Really?
Yeah, that's what she's like. I don't understand. Big deal.
What was the, around home or something? Yeah, Adam. Is it nice up there?
Yeah.
Is it better than Home Goods or?
I don't think it's as easy to navigate as it's a very large store.
They have a lot,
Yeah.
especially before the holidays, and everything.
Furniture and decor stuff, also
It's
stuff,
like
wall
a,
hanging, so, yeah.
it's like Sam's Club meets Home Goods.
Yeah. It's a good,
Yeah,
their bros.
Great.
Good discussion.
Like that. We're buying it, get in there, actually. I like
I
that
did
stuff.
get framed pictures for, I moved out to Lewis and Covey, but I did get framed pictures for my office, and stuff hanging there for like $7 a piece. They're worth it. So,
That's cool. Yeah, good thing.
yeah. So, they have operated, they're heavy, so.
I know she was out there, staying out there?
Yeah,
Okay.
we're just kind of like a bolt in there.
Oh, okay.
I like it.
Yeah.
It's easier to communicate.
Exactly.
Screaming.
Exactly, especially when you're in the tucked in like where your desk is, you gotta scream really.
And Sarah just screaming, oh, everybody.
Yep. Love her. The house sometimes is, it brings me back right there, really, it's always.
Mr. Deanna's in meeting?
Yes, he is.
I heard he was on the news.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't see that.
He had a double or triple procedure.
Oh, really? Who's that?
Oh, last year, I know last year.
Oh, sure, okay, oh, okay. But he's been back for several months now. so-
No, it was last month, or recently, around Christmas.
Just dealing with the last 2 months.
Yeah, it happened right after the last one.
Modern medicine.
Yeah. It's great.
It's the second position.
I don't remember the last time I saw him, but he didn't look bad then, you know? I think he was in the local town hall, I don't know. Those conditions don't affect the way you look.
No. It's exciting, right? It's really-
Sir, do you have a copy of the agenda?
I don't. If you go into that lobby, we might have one.
Thanks.
He's out there in person.
What? Now? I'm like, no, I was going down. This started from the beginning?
That's only the audit.
No, different nasty, different girls, different hippies. I use it. RPM. I don't worry
Maybe she could.
a little more active than that.
She's a conversation, I don't know about the anti-social media. Yeah, she's definitely into it because of her kids.
Yeah, you try. But yeah.
You popped up as the first person on the text thing all of a sudden?
Does it know I'm near you? Is that what it
It
is?
must.
That's what it is. I know we haven't texted in
We
months.
haven't,
but,
you know, and like, usually it gives you the first people
Exactly.
corresponding with
They
first.
must be picking that up. That's interesting.
Listen.
Wasn't hard.
I think it's the air, I think it did something. That was crazy.
Or just wants you to text me.
Here.
How is it looking? No, she'll be fine. Pretty good.
Just rest assured that nothing's easy here. It's not personal, I promise you that. It's just nip there.
Some typo, I did something wrong, but I was the one hitting the button, so I really, okay, yeah, see if you can pull it, maybe. The password
Have you been working out?
Wow.
Target.
Talking about,
Guys have so much going on.
my father was dead.
Oh,
So I follow legs for some reason.
I thought that's what I
There's a lot going on there. Incredible.
My father was an Edgar, and there's not a lot of them. Well, Jake Edgar, yeah, or Edwin, I know a few Edwins, I know as many Edwins as Edgars.
Hello, Mrs. Bill. I'm good, how are you, Lisa? We did not. Okay. Okay. honestly, the partnership is the repository for that. I go to their website for that as well, so that's really good for, you know, so they want to be on that, and they update it. I'm actually sitting a couple seats down from one of the folks that update that and everything, so, yeah, I don't want to right now. Yeah, so, no, that's cool, so, during the executive session with them. So, that's where I go, if you want to run something by me and ask me to verify some things, I can do that, but that's what I would use, really, it's a good resource, it really is. Yep. I'd leave them off there, leave that last one off there. They've gone through, yes. There's challenges there, and there's legal stuff, they're kind of going, I would leave that, if he's gonna read these, I would leave that off. Yep, sure. Yep. What about the County of Orange? Or do you not want covered? Yeah, we've got a couple thousand employees. I can get the exact number. I can get the exact number. Absolutely. Oh, wow. Did I get her?
Nice try. And recorded.
No.
I'm a witness.
So you saw him hit me with the camera.
No, he didn't hit you. I'm a witness. I didn't see him.
I got it, it's all right.
It's a nice catch. You have children, you have good.
She's trying to implicate you. She thinks she had money.
Text them right now, trying to get answer on the phone.
Oh,
Here's the camera.
Oh, there's the camera. Okay, I was like, where'd the top go?
Absolutely.
There we go.
Let me make sure I have your cell. I'm pretty sure I do. Let me just make double, yeah, I don't want to, yeah, but it's coming up as unknown. The number's blocked.
Okay, I think that's
How good is the picture? Yeah.
pretty good.
Unfortunately, I have to, the county executive comes through as unknown, so I have to answer every unknown now, so. Even if I didn't make. Yeah, nice. Hold on, so let me just double check.
I saw it on the live feed.
That was a bad idea, put it on the chair.
One more time. on
Do
your
we have a
number.
box or something?
We need to bring it up higher.
Yep.
It helps because when they sit here, it blocks everyone else.
Were there other names on that list? Want to run by? Were there other names on that list? Okay. Okay, let me verify the county. Yep, there you go. Yeah, the county's the only one that I didn't hear that is way up there. As long as public sector's good. And, yeah, I'll text you back as soon as I have confirmation of that. Absolutely. Happy New Year. We'll talk about getting together next month or so, okay? Okay, I will. I will. Happy Fridays. So do any of this, like, sliding around rather than typing? It's almost, I just found that when we want to do it, and when we don't, sometimes it's like jumbled typing together.
Agencies, after today?
I'll show you guys. It works really well.
Today they get approved?
Yeah.
Even though there's no dollar match, just by the budget, okay. All right.
That looks dangerous. Do you think, is it?
610.
What is it? Is it okay?
I guess so, as long as, yeah.
I can get another box.
Is it gonna fall?
I thought it was more dangerous on that chair than
Are you gonna send that out to the agencies?
I asked Lori how she wanted to handle that, if she wanted to have like her name or your name on it. Let me chat with
Let me know.
her, cause they go out next week and it's not
Okay.
like
Yeah,
tomorrow.
Yeah, let me know, because I just want to send something with it, a voucher sheet. I want to send with the thing, I want to have a copy of the voucher, so they have, you know, when they submit, you know.
I usually send a voucher and then like a prototype voucher so they can see how to fill it out.
Okay, let me, okay,
I can show you and then
Great.
you can add whatever you want, it's fine.
okay, great.
Excuse me.
Different things are making up. Different things is confusing and client, like you said, and that tourism information will be shut out. I want to get with them. Paranoid with it, but it's all right. So yeah, watch. When you lift your finger, then it's a new. And you can do it really fast, I mean, it's kind of pick it up. It is easier, it is. And I still don't know when it's double leather.
No, that's true.
But it picks it up. I'm gonna do two hours. Sometimes I pause on it, but I don't think you need to do that.
It's a good thing.
Yeah. I'm sure she got a call from Mike Sweet. He said he was gonna call it too, about high-end hotel. War. Fort Belly office in the village, Fort Park. Arts and sports were a little confused.
Okay.
I'm sure Mike called her, he told me he was gonna, so this is a meeting, this is no, you know, like 27th on this day or something.
I did something, yes.
But then Luke reached out to me and to Amanda, I don't know, I think she just thought the county was the place to ask this, but asking for us kind of like a synopsis of all the activity in the area. So, because I have somebody that stop and do some work like that, kind of took some of my other material, touch base with me and put something together. You don't want to use that opportunity to throw something in there or whatever, so, should I send it to you or what do you think? Okay, all right. If you get it out to them by early next week, I don't really, I mean, a lot of it's gonna be duplication, but there's definitely, I'm sure some stuff you can throw on there that, I don't know. Yeah, okay, okay. Can't do that remotely, do I didn't have that, did you change it since you sent it to me? Okay. It's not, right? Is it one through opportunity or something else? She said, yeah, we talked about that, you and I, I'm not so sure, I certainly understand that and respect that, I just, I'm not so sure because I don't think we're a triple net. It's a different target market, it's different high-end hotel. I kind of suggest that we keep, we've got a page on there that talks about hotels, right, that we've had over the last couple of years. And, she said, well, maybe we leave that off so we don't turn off the hotel area, but honestly, it's Warwick, it's a different market, because they don't have anything there, it's a higher end, they're trying to go after a different market.
I also don't know if we may all would be best idea because the hotels tend to cluster.
Yeah.
So they're looking to make sure there's actually people in the area and not that they're on breaking ground and being the
Absolutely agree with you.
So,
That's a great point.
I was definitely to include it, I guess, probably add if you had it talked about it in development in the area, developers coming into the areas.
I don't think we talked about development, we see some of those slides with you guys, which I think is great. And also, that makes me think about spec development, which we didn't put that, you guys report on that a lot, so those are two really great examples of that. All right, let me just post that. You saw that Steve Powell received your edits today? You see that Steve Powell right now saying that? Got your stuff? That's his information.
No, I didn't get mine.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I received that.
I usually have his.
Happy to be here, by the way. It's good to be here.
We need to figure out that camera, like we need to like make a better stand or something for it.
I'm surprised it doesn't go up higher.
It was higher last time. But it was higher.
Was it?
Yes, I don't know why.
Well, I didn't try that part, I just wanted to get a quick solution.
No, it's okay.
Just this.
It's like, where's my glasses? I feel like John Steinberg can't find my glasses. Sorry. Okay. Who's this? What is it? Okay.
Put governance on there by accident. It's only OCFC on the agenda.
Who's cap consultant?
That's what we do with it.
We got everybody who we missed, Steve.
I'll go back.
Okay, thanks for your patience, folks. Next up on the agenda is the annual reorganization meeting of the Industrial Development Agency, Orange County, New York. So we have to go through and elect officers and appoint committee chairs and appoint managing directors and et cetera. So the first up is the chairman. So I guess I'll entertain a motion, or tell me what to do.
Nomination from the floor.
Tell me the nomination from the floor.
I nominate Mary Ellen Migalski.
Thank
I
you.
second.
Thank you. Any other nominations? Okay, hearing none, I guess we vote, right? Okay, so all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, thank you very much, folks. Yeah, thanks a lot. Okay, next up is for vice chairman, so I'll entertain a motion for vice chairman.
Ed Diana.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you, second, okay. Any other nominations or comments? Okay, hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank you.
Carried, okay.
Thank you.
Second vice chairman, I'll entertain a motion for second vice chairman. Who's second vice chairman?
I
It's
am.
John Steinberg.
So,
Is everybody looking at me for? I feel bad enough. Bob Scrubbies or? No, I don't want it. Jim DeSalvo?
I guess so.
I'll nominate Jim DeSalvo.
okay, thank you.
Second.
Second? Did we get a second?
I second.
Oh, I'm sorry, thank you, okay. Any further comments or questions?
With regret.
Hearing none, I'll, everybody in favor? All
Aye.
in favor? Aye. Any opposed?
Yeah,
Carried, okay, yeah, mazel tov. Make a
And you don't go
nomination.
nowhere.
Take a nomination for the secretary?
Steve Brescia.
Okay, thank you. Second, Mr. Gator?
Second. You got it?
Any comments or questions? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. And assistant secretary, I'll entertain a motion for assistant secretary.
It's Gatos.
That's Mr. Gatos.
Motion for Mike Gatos.
All right, thank you.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, congratulations, everybody.
Okay.
So next up is the, my recommendations for the appointees to the committee. So the audit committee would be, basically is unchanged. Mr. DeSalvo is chairman, Ed Diana, Mike Gatos with an alternative of Mr. Steinberg. Finance committee, Mr. DeSalvo chair, Ed Diana and Mike Gatos with an alternative of Steinberg. Governance committee, Ed Diana chair, Bob Scrabbice and Jim DeSalvo with an alternative of Steinberg. The accelerator committee, Ed Diana as chair, myself and Mr. Steinberg with Steve Brescia as alternative, and human resources, I'm recommending that I be the chair, and I'd like Mr. Gatos to join on the human resources committee. You okay with that? Good, thank you.
Mary Ellen, I didn't get the accelerator committee.
The accelerator committee is Ed Diana's the chair, myself, and you with the
Okay.
alternative of Steve
All right.
Brescia.
Oh, alternative Steve Brescia,
Yes,
thank you.
yeah. Okay, then, next up is a resolution to appoint the chief executive officer. So, who has to read that?
Usually I do.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Resolution appointing the chief executive officer of the IDA for 2020, and you're naming Lori Villasuso.
Okay. You need a
Motion.
Thank you, second, okay.
Second.
You
Ready
need-
to roll call?
It's my
turn then. Mr. Schreiber.
Yes.
Mr. Brescia.
Yes.
Mr. Diana.
Yes.
Mr. Steinberg.
Aye.
Mr. DeSalvo.
Yeah.
Mr. Gatos.
Yes.
And Chairwoman Mikulski.
Yes,
7 ayes, Madam Chairwoman, that
okay, thank you.
approved.
Next up is the appointing the managing director.
Resolution appointing the Galileo Technology Group under the supervision of Vincent Cozzolino to the position of Managing Director of the IDA for 2020. Some questions about
I'll entertain a motion.
that. So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
Second.
We have some discussion
Okay.
on
Roll
Mr.
call.
Schreiber.
Yes.
Mr. Gatos. Mr. Brescia.
Yes.
Mr. Steinberg.
Aye.
Mr. Diana.
Yes.
Mr. DeSalvo. And
Yes.
Chairwoman Rogowski.
Yes.
7 ayes, Madam Chairwoman.
Okay, and then next up is the appointing of the Chief Operating Officer.
Yes, resolution appointing the Chief Operating Officer of the IDA for 2020, and the name is Melanie Schouten.
Second.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Schreiber.
Yes.
Mr. Brescia.
Yes.
Mr. Diana.
Yes.
Mr. Steinberg.
Aye.
Mr. DeSalvo.
Yes.
Mr. Gatos. Chairwoman Rogowski.
Yes,
7 ayes, Madam Chairwoman.
thank you.
Madam Chair, can we do the
More
remaining
quickly?
appointments in one fell swoop? I should be able to, right?
Well, the resolution.
Unless there's an objection to any of the nominees.
No, I'm okay with that. Is everybody,
Yeah.
I'll make a motion that we approve
everybody?
every
on the
resolution remaining.
I just need to pull out the one with the depository stuff.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Except that
We want
one.
to do this by CFO, attorney, contract officer,
Correct.
control officer, and then lobbying designee, those 5, and then we can do the other one.
Actually, you don't even have to pull that out. Jimmy can just abstain from that one, make it a point in the
Yeah, make
minutes.
it a point, I'm just abstaining from that one.
Let the record reflect
I
that
don't think you
Jim
really have to do
recused himself or
Yeah, I'm
abstained
gonna-
from
Yeah,
that.
if you're comfortable, that's okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's my motion.
From the
then.
resolution adopting, approving
Okay.
IDA depositories.
Okay, and then, so he motioned all, I need a second. for all-
Second.
Okay.
And Mr. Schreiber.
Yes.
Mr. Diana.
Yes.
Mr. Brescia.
Yes.
Mr. Steinberg.
Aye.
Mr. DeSalvo with that one exception.
Yes, with the one abstention.
Mr. Gatos.
Yes.
Chairwoman Rogowski.
Yes,
That's 7 ayes on all but the one, with 1 abstention on the depositories.
all right, good. Thank you. So moving right along, we have the approval of the minutes for the board meeting on December 12th. Look fine to me, so I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
All right, any questions or comments? All right, hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Carried. December 12th audit committee meeting minutes also.
So moved.
Thank you. Need a second?
Second.
Thank you, okay. Questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. And then the December 12th governance committee meeting minutes.
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
Okay, questions or comments? All right, hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Financial reports and/or requests for payments.
Everyone has a separate report of financial schedule. Page 1 is the Orange County IDA as of December 31st. The account balances and investments total $8,888,318. Go to page 2. We have the income and expense summary through the end of December 31st. Year-to-date income, $1,776,837. Expenses, $1,702,253. Just make everyone aware that this does not include year-end adjustments for revenue and expense accruals. So the revenues increased by accruals and expenditures respectively. So the audit numbers will reflect the year-end versus these are just cash basis.
Joel,
Yes.
do you expect do you expect big changes when you do your accruals?
Yeah, well, basically, any bill that we approve today will be approved back in 2019, because we
Okay.
received those invoices last year.
Right.
And there are some revenues that we receive in 2020, which again might be accrued back to 2019.
Thank you.
But you'll see more of an impact on the expense side.
Okay,
Revenue side.
thank you.
Page 3, income and expense summary for the accelerator. Again, these are cash basis numbers, and they don't have the year-end adjustments. We have total income of $158,475, total expenses of $2,733,050. And there's no questions on page 4.
Joel, I'm
Yes,
sorry.
go ahead.
On the first page,
Yeah.
you gotta add these two numbers up, and that's the total, right, that we have in the bank on the IDA side? This number and this number?
If you add those 3, it agrees to the 4.6 million CDs.
Got it. Seems like a drop.
It did drop, but we didn't spend the money at work.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
That-
yeah,
and
okay,
the
yeah,
majority
yeah,
of that would
yeah,
be
yeah.
back.
Okay, okay, okay,
Yes,
okay.
yes.
All of that.
Yeah,
If
right.
you refer to page 4, we have a revised voucher statement from what was included in the packet. We added some last-minute vouchers. For the month of December, we received $53,802.50, and we have vouchers to be approved, $453,704.87. And 2 of those vouchers were already prepaid for the directors and officers' insurance. Those are the one with the 2 asterisks in the middle of the page.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Joel. Anybody have any questions or comments? All right, hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve the financial reporting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Chairman's report, nothing as usual. Chief Operating Officer report.
Okay, so pretty quickly, just if you guys all noticed, there was a vote for Finance Committee this month. It's not something that we typically have done in the past, but we got an opinion, not an opinion, but there's a law essentially that says that we are required to have a Finance Committee, so that was implemented this year. Parish reporting is underway. All of the project letters have been sent out. Once we get those back, as you all know, we will, Kathy, who's here today, will go through and confirm all the pilot payments were made, and then turn that information over to the state. Last month, I told you that NYTT in Goshen was once again delinquent in their school payment. They have submitted their late school payment along with their accrued late fees. They only have, I believe, a year left on their pilot, so let's hope that there's, this will be behind us soon enough. CNS Wholesale Grocers we'll talk about. I have some other board business that will require action, so I'm just going to write that there. We are currently researching and providing information for a FOIL that the office has received, so Melanie and Kevin are working together to put together all related documents from January 1st of 2014 to December of 2019. In your packet, not in your packet, on the table when you came in today, there was the Committee on Investigations and Open Government's Operations Report that was emailed to everybody earlier this month, but we also provided it again. That was the report that was commissioned by Senator Skoufis and required that all IDAs throughout the state provide quite a bit of information. In that there were a few case studies. We happened to be a part of one because of the Medline transaction, but we also, just as a nice little note, were commended for being quick to respond to that investigation. So you all have that for your reading enjoyment. 2 pieces of legislation that were before the governor have been, I just want to report on 2 of them. One of them was a requirement to send every pilot certified mail return receipt requested was not approved because it would cause unnecessary additional administrative burdens, so that was vetoed. The one that was signed was authorizing the Office of the State Comptroller to audit LDCs, which the OCFC is an LDC. Last but not least for my report, Lenchi's Amusement, which owns the castle in Chester, which last month they were provided, this board agreed to extend their sales tax exemption. That was all well and good, but they also have filed a mortgage. There's no incentive associated with this. They're not getting a mortgage reporting tax exemption, but because we are part of the ownership of that property, because we have a pilot, it's going to require our signature. Just wanted to let you know before I sign it that that would be happening this month. Does anybody have any questions? All right, and that's it then.
Okay, thank you. The board committee reports, nothing for governance?
No, governance is OCFC.
Oh, sorry, okay. Audit committee met today?
We did.
Okay, and how did it go?
It was going well for a little while, but we had a interesting development come up with a company that we've talked about before, who, Craftify, who seems to still have issues with following through paperwork, getting back to Loki Brill, and turns out they were asking for an exemption, and they really already had folks on the site doing the work. Wasn't a huge portion of the project, it was very small. So we would, I think the board as a whole kind of felt like if they had followed through a process a little better, maybe made a phone call to the powers that be, because of the size, we wouldn't have minded so much, but we did get a call into Kevin from Loki Brill, and it seems to be habitual. So we rejected the exemption.
Okay.
And, we gave a little speech about, listen, companies and corporations don't have to come here. They don't have to come to the IDA. But if you are, and you're gonna get the benefits, you need to follow the
Right,
procedures. And, if it's a multi-million-dollar project, or it's a several $100,000 project, I mean, get somebody on the job that's gonna be able to follow with the paperwork and make calls and do the right stuff, because the labor policy is something I think this board is serious about and wanna hold it, companies to the high standards. And even though it was a small portion, it wasn't done right. It wasn't done right. And it's habitual with these folks, so we denied it.
Okay, good. I'm glad to hear that. Anybody have any other questions or comments? That's the only thing you guys talked about today?
Yeah, that was it.
Okay. All right, thank you. And then the Accelerator Committee.
So, out of respect for the board's time, because I know Steve has to leave and we have other business, I had said I would bring a full year-end report on the Accelerator to this meeting, but because of the other stuff we have, I'm gonna put that to the next meeting, if that's okay.
Yeah.
The only thing I'd like to let everybody know is that the Artificial Intelligence Accelerator and our workings with West Point to get them on board is proceeding in a very good way. And next month I'll fill in the details. Jimmy DeSalvo knows much more about this because he's very interested. He happens to live in Highland Falls. And of course, Eddie is the chair of the Accelerator Committee. If anybody wants to know before the next meeting, I'm happy to take you through the detail.
Okay, thank you. All right, next up is applications and resolutions. So we have Janscamer Energy LLC.
Correct, so we have representatives from Janscamer here. While they come up, I will point to to the packet that's on your desk. There's an application that's in there. There's also in the packet that you received a letter detailing this request. While it is on a new application, this is really an extension of their existing pilot. But we are going to treat it like a new application, and that we would accept this request today, and we will authorize a public hearing, and then we would have another vote, a final vote, for the actual implementation.
Road dive on there in the river.
Yeah.
It's a cleaner plan. Fossil fuels.
Hi, I'm Bill Reed. I'm the CEO of Janscamer, and I have with me today Tom Gray, who's our Chief Financial Officer, and Michelle Hook, who's our VP of Public Affairs. Thank you very much for inviting us to come by. It's nice to see some familiar faces. As you know, we've been in business in Newburgh for over 60 years. We spend about $5 million annually on payroll, $10 million. I spent over $10 million in property taxes under this pilot, and we're a locally owned and operated business. We're not part of a big conglomerate. There's been some sad history, as you know, with corporate ownerships at the site, but we're here to stay. In auditing our financials as we were going on, we went and looked back at the payments and the calculations for the payments under the pilot. They're very complicated. And we came to the conclusion that there had been a discrepancy, and so we sent a letter in to you. Your advice was to go talk to the school district, the town of Marlborough, and the town of Newburgh, and try to come to some resolution. I think everybody at the end of that decided that there probably was an overpayment approximately $1 million. Didn't make much sense to ask the school, who gets 3/4 of the pilot agreement, to write us a check. So we said, well, this pilot will only be around for another year or so. When we start the new project, I'll give you an update on that. It'll get torn up anyway. But why don't we just agree to an extension in exchange for us not asking for a payback on the discrepancy and overpayment, and then we'll also take the opportunity to fix the existing pilot agreement so there's no confusion about how things are calculated. And this was how you credit special district charges and what's the math behind that and everything that really led to the misunderstanding. So what we're asking for is simply your approval to extend the pilot for another 4 years. We've also updated the community benefit agreement for both the town and the school district, which they're pretty happy with. And we'll change some of the language, so we're not asking for anything special. It'll probably, if we get our new plan approved in the next 12 to 16 months, it won't be much of an extension anyway, but in case that does not go forward, we continue operating, we keep our payroll, et cetera, we'll still be here, we're not going anywhere. But now in terms of the going forward project, we represent a private capital group. This plant was originally started in the 50s. It was a coal plant, it's now a natural gas plant. It doesn't run very much. It's called a peaker, but it gets paid to be literally warm every day. So we have a full-time staff, full-time maintenance staff. We're there. We're ready. We have to tell the grid operator every day that we're ready to produce electricity. We probably only run about 20 days a year, to be honest. Mostly when it's very, very hot and there's thunderstorms. That's when we seem to be called. Our idea, the group that purchased the site, was this was a perfect place to repower the facility, to bring in the latest technology, stop using the Hudson River for cooling, virtually eliminate emissions, dramatically reduce carbon emissions, all very positive from an environmental standpoint. And most importantly, save the ratepayers in Orange County $20 million a year on electricity prices, and the knock-on effect for the state is $60 million a year. So there were very, very positive environmental and economic reasons to do that. From your standpoint, the new project would be about a $500 million construction project. I'm told that that will require about 450 high-paying union jobs for about 3 years. When the new plant goes online, at the end of that project, we'll probably have 25 or 30 full-time employees, down a little bit from what we have now, but a lot of the people we have now are trying to keep a very old car running. The new car won't need that, at least initially. It won't need as many maintenance people, and that's why there's a discrepancy. But once again, we'll contribute to we'll make a significant contribution to the local economy, and maybe more importantly, what the town and the school district feel that they need to know that there's a sustainable taxpayer here. We make I think we're the largest taxpayer in the town, and so they've been very supportive of us basically staying in business and continuing to pay our taxes. If there's any questions, very happy to answer them. We made as suggested, we made an application for the extension. That's been put in. From the project standpoint, we filed and completed our Article 10 filing. As you may know, that puts everything into one filing, 7,000 pages of exhibits. The linear feet is about 3.5 linear feet of paper. That went into the state, the Department of Public Service in the first week in December. They have to come back to us with comments, which we're sure they have, but once we've agreed that we've checked every box, they have to tell us within 12 months whether we're approved or not to go forward. As soon as we're approved, we'll put shovels in the ground. So hopefully this is something in the early part of next year gets approved and we would be going forward. Finally, for the new project, obviously different economics, different employee base, everything, we will be coming back to you at some point this year and proposing a new pilot. And we'll go through all the public hearings and all the justification we have to go through for that. But the pilot that will supersede the one that's in place now for the old facility.
Okay, thank you. Anybody have any questions?
Yeah, I've got one.
Yeah.
Explain a little bit the $20 million in annual electric savings to Orange County.
So the plant runs much more efficiently than the existing plant. Literally, we can produce electricity at half the cost. We use half the natural gas to produce an electron on electricity. It's not a mystery. All the new plants are dramatically better. It's like gas mileage versus my father's old Oldsmobile. Gas mileage of a new car today versus an old Oldsmobile.
John still has that old school.
It runs, and I'm sure it's beautiful. What then happens is, this is electricity price is market-based. So you bid into the market what your cost is of producing electricity. You want to sell it. If more efficient plants come into the marketplace, the price of electricity goes down. So independent consultants, as part of the Article 10 process, ran their big, you call it a Jedi model today, and basically the lights dim when they turn it on, but it came back and said, the impact of that, two significant impacts. You will probably drive much less efficient emitting generators out of business, and also cut down on imports of coal power from PJM into this region, which is what we have to do. But more importantly, you will knock down electricity prices 6 cents a kilowatt hour on average over the course of the year. So that has an immediate impact for people in this district, but it also impacts the whole state, because a lot of the electricity from the state runs through this zone, runs through Orange County. So it has a very powerful impact on the prices that everybody pays. And that's simply, we're getting more efficient. We're replacing the old and we're putting something in that's much more efficient.
So the real effect is caused by your impact on the market.
The real effect is
You're not really
impact on the
making
market.
a savings on the current operation of the plant compared to the future operation of the plant. It's really the impact on the market.
Yes.
Because you're going to be in the market with a cheaper product.
Much lower prices.
Interesting.
A newer Oldsmobile.
The newer Oldsmobile.
More like a Honda Fit.
When are you going to have a self-driving Oldsmobile? I want to know.
Okay.
I think Uber's working on that.
Sir, I have a question. I
Sir?
noticed the headline.
This is not a public hearing, so we can't take comments from the public.
Understood.
When we finish, I'm happy to answer.
Yeah. Anybody else have any other questions or comments? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
What do we need to do now?
Kevin has a
Kevin's gonna read the
resolution.
resolution?
Initial resolution.
Before you start, you guys review the application is complete?
Correct,
Okay.
the application is complete. It is a little, it's kind of wonky because it's not a new
Right.
application, but trying to fit it into a full application. But yes, they provided all the necessary information, including the
Okay,
purchases.
all right.
What was that technical term?
Wonky, yes.
Okay,
I
thank
use
you,
big words
Mr.
today.
Go ahead, Mr. Dale.
Initial resolution, Danscama Energy LLC project. Resolution of the Orange County Industrial Development Agency accepting the application of Danscama Energy LLC with respect to a certain project, describing the forms of financial assistance being contemplated by the Orange County Industrial Development Agency with respect to such project, and authorizing a public hearing with respect to such project.
Entertain a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you.
Give it to Mike if you got it.
Aye.
Mr. Brasher.
Aye.
Mr. Diana.
Yes.
Mr. Schreiber.
Yes.
Mr. DeSalvo.
Yes.
Mr. Gatos.
Yes.
And Chairwoman Yagowski.
Yes.
7 ayes, Madam Chairwoman, the resolution adopted.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
We'll be in touch and schedule it. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
They will, yes.
I want this.
Oh, of course. Yeah, I mean, okay, other board business?
There is one item for other board business. We were contacted by CNS Wholesale Grocers, which operates in Chester. As you know, we have a pilot with them. They are selling the facility and no longer need the pilot or want the pilot. So while CNS will continue to operate, they're not closing. According to the conversations that we've had, they just, part of the deal is that they will no longer have a pilot. So we need to take an action to terminate the pilot as a part of their closing, which is happening at the end of this month.
Those are super enhanced, too.
Yes, it was. It was a
And
first
that's
round.
what's-
I asked them, doesn't the purchasing entity want to take the part, or at least request the
Right.
assignment and assumption? No.
I called them again today to confirm it, because and one of the gentlemen that I spoke to, one of the people was in real estate, and he said, I frankly, I don't know why they didn't do it either, but, it was part of the deal, so. I don't know what that's an indicator of, but it's the
Who's the
truth.
buyer? Do we know the buyer?
I think Kevin and Russ
You know
have it
the
in the email.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm supposed to talk about it.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so you need we'll entertain a motion to, oh, no, you have to read the resolution, correct?
Termination resolution, CNS Wholesale Grocers Inc. project. Resolution of the Orange County Industrial Development Agency authorizing termination of the lease agreement, lease type agreement, pilot agreement, and related documents in connection with the CNS Wholesale Grocers Incorporated project.
I'll move it.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you.
Mr. Brescia.
Aye.
Mr. Steinberg.
Aye.
Mr. Schreiber.
Aye.
Mr. Diana.
Yes.
Mr. DeSalvo.
Yes.
Mr. Gatos.
Yes.
And Madam Chairwoman.
Yes.
7 ayes, Madam Chairwoman.
Was it 7 or 8 years we were into that?
I'm
Yeah,
looking it up
I was
right now.
saying
at
Was
least.
it, Eddie was
Yeah.
county exec, I
Yeah,
know.
it's kind
Yeah.
of exact, so
Yeah,
at least
since
10.
2019.
maybe 10 years.
Yeah, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years left on it.
So 9
It's
years.
9
Okay.
years, yeah.
9 years, yeah.
It's very surprising.
It is surprising.
That's when we had the
Okay.
lawsuit on, yeah.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
just
that's
sued
right.
us.
Yeah, we won on all counts,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, I know, we did.
Mhm.
Okay, if there's nothing else,
Yes, we did.
I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Whoa.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Slow down.
Move on to the OCFC. Just get my agenda. and then-
Be done.
What time is leaving?
Not till 4:30. I have
Oh.
time.
Okay.
I work the week to talk.
I know you just signed some stuff.
We still have some things to take care of.
Okay.
They shouldn't have gone down.
Okay, all right.
Do you want to bring up the Heritage Trail under
We had
other
a whole
business in the
thing.
OCFC?
Fucking bullshit.
Yeah, with the resolution?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
You're staying here. You're staying here.
Okay. All right, so I will call the meeting of the OCFC to order. And again, we'll start with a roll call. So Mr. Diana?
Here.
Mr. Steinberg?
Here.
Mr. Brescia?
Aye.
Mr.
Here.
Gatos?
Here.
Sorry,
Mr.
here, sorry.
Travis?
Here.
Mr. DeSalvo?
Present.
And Lori, Vinnie, Kevin, Russ, and Joel are all here. So next up is the approval of the minutes from the December 12th meeting. I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Any comments or discussion? All right, hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
I'm sorry, all those in favor?
Yes.
Yeah, we did. I'm not paying attention. Financial reports and requests for payments?
If you refer to page 6 in your packet that I handed out, the financial schedules, we have the income and expense summary for the OCFC as of December 31st. Year to date, we have income of $8,288 and expenses of $141,008.7. Again, there will be some minor adjustments to these figures for year-end accruals. Page 7, I'm sorry, I skipped a page. Let's go back to page 5. You might want to know how much we had as
Yeah,
far
that
as
would be
the
helpful.
bank account. As of December 31st, bank accounts and investments, we have a total of $1,947,951.
Okay. Anybody have any questions or comments?
Joel, offhand, do you know what we were a year ago?
Not offhand.
No.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? All right, hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve the financial reports.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. So next up, we have application resolution for TSEC for an expenditure request.
Correct. So in the packet that was sent to you, you have an application from TSEC for $75,000 for the year of 2020. TSEC, as everyone here knows, is instrumental to the success of the accelerator. They in general, they provide most of the equipment, if not all of the equipment that our entrepreneurs use. We also depend on them for some construction funds for the grant pass-through grants that TSEC extends to us for housing our entrepreneurs. They're integral to the Warwick property, and they will be integral to the AI property in, oh my God, I can't use my words today, in Highland Falls. And so this year, they have requested money before, typically it's $50,000, so last year this board approved $50,000, but this year they increased it, they asked if it would be reasonable to increase it. There is definitely an increased workload. Governance committee met today and recommended it for approval. I'm sorry, governance members, if anybody wants to speak to that. Just steam
Yeah, we
over.
talked about it and seeing that we're adding the CBD project, we're adding the intelligence project. We felt that the added 25,000 was allocated and we should do that, so that we voted unanimously to approve the 75.
Yes, sir.
Why does it come out of this side and not the other side, since we fund pretty much everything?
Because this is, so we actually have, this is a project expenditure, so this has a little bit more flexibility in the ways that TSEC can spend this money. We do have, TSEC is appointed as an agent of ours for a smaller amount of money on the IDA side, but because we
Not
rely
part
on
of the
them-
75?
Not part of the 75.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Interesting.
and they're not for profit.
This gives them more flexibility, how to
Yeah,
spend the
okay.
money.
Yeah, and they've been a very, very good partner for us. Maybe we'll do a lot of stuff with them.
Yeah.
Okay, any other questions or comments? No. Okay, so then I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
to approve. Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. Okay, you got a resolution, Mr. Dow?
I did, actually. Resolution authorizing a $75,000 project expenditure of the Solar Energy Consortium, TSEC, to cover expenses to operate and maintain the existing smart labor labs and pods, and to manage and maintain the purchase and installation of additional capital equipment for the accelerator.
Okay.
So, Mr. Schreibeis.
Yes.
Mr. Diana.
Yes.
Mr. Brescia.
Yes.
Mr. Steinberg.
Aye.
Mr. DeSalvo.
Yes.
Mr. Gatos.
Yes.
Chairwoman Rogowski.
Yes.
And your 7 ayes, Madam Chairwoman, resolution is adopted.
Okay, thank you. Next up is other board business.
Yes,
Want a motion?
I would make a motion that we approve $800,000 out of the OCFC for the Heritage Trail, in addition to the amount that was approved last month for $200,000, contingent upon the county executive's office submitting an application for that remainder.
Second.
And amended. Yeah. Okay. Any questions or comments?
It's an amended
Correct,
application, right?
yeah.
Amended application.
So-
Okay, amended application, okay.
Yes, we
I
just will
stand
have to
corrected.
amend the approval.
Right.
Yeah.
Not a new one.
Right, and I think that means we can do it today, it's just subject to the submission of the
Yeah, so
application.
if this is approved today, essentially, Bill, you'll work with us and then amend the application that you sent to us last month to include this extra $800,000. Once we receive that, then we can move forward with the contract.
Excellent. And I'll submit another contract with the county to amend the one that I sent at the end of.
A lot of amending going on.
Yes,
That's right,
many
that's right,
amendments.
understood.
Don't let this one expire.
And let me add that we've been advised that we're on much more legal high ground to do this out of the OCFC. Could you also put some of the justifications in the application? The economic, the tourism, the
Absolutely.
economic, the jobs, job retention
Yeah.
along the trail?
He had it all.
Yeah, no, you have,
You
you
did have it all in the
have a
packet,
very
okay.
thorough application.
Okay.
yeah.
Stuff in there, honestly.
Yeah.
Jimmy likes that skiing,
Yeah, right, exactly. Understood, understood.
cross country.
Okay, any other questions or comments? All right, so then we have a motion and a second, I guess we'll do a roll call vote.
Yeah, I don't know if you do have a copy of the resolution they prepared with just a blank, because I didn't know how much money you were going to
We
allocate.
didn't press it out.
Yeah, okay, good. Okay, so I'll just call the roll. Mr. DeSalvo?
Yes.
Mr. Gatos?
Yes.
Mr. Schreibeis?
Yes.
Mr. Brusher?
Yes.
Mr. Steinberg?
Yes.
Mr. Diana?
Yes.
Chairwoman Rogowski?
No.
6-1, resolution's adopted.
Thanks very much on behalf of the
Okay.
county. We appreciate the support. It'll be a great project. Thank you all.
Okay. Okay. Any other board business? Any other board business?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Motion closed.
Excuse me?
Motion closed.
Second.
Okay. Motion to adjourn second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
That's the recording, so.